Hello and welcome to the Financial Express. Elections are just around the corner and Uttar Pradesh is set to witness a multi-cornered contest in a month-long electoral battle. The Samajwadi Party, which is giving a tough fight to the BJP, has joined hands with Rashtriya Lok Dal, a party which enjoys an overwhelming support base in western Uttar Pradesh. Today we have with us Mr. Jayant Chaudhary, who took over the reins of the party after the tragic demise of his father and former party chief, Mr. Chaudhary Ajit Singh. These elections are a litmus test for Jayant ji, who faces a challenge to retain his family's political legacy. Jayant ji has been a proactive voice against the farm laws brought by the centre, and he is hopeful that the angst of farmers against the farm laws and the year-long protests against the farm laws will turn into a defeat for the Yogi Adityanath government. Today we will discuss with him his party's preparations and some of the key issues which will be a deciding factor on March 10th. Hello Jayant ji, thank you for joining us. These elections will be a litmus test for you for surely, given the political legacy of your family, Chaudhary Ajit Singh ji and Chaudhary Charan Singh ji. Your party joined hands with BJP in 2002 and won 14 seats. But since then, the party's seat share has been plummeting. In fact, in 2017, your party won just one seat. How do you wish to, make a comeback?
Well, I'm a very positive person. I feel that we must take every day as it comes. Every election is different. It's a brand new day, in fact. This election is important not just for us. It's important for the national polity. It's important that we send a message to governments at various levels that citizens can organize themselves and that traditional vote banks cannot, face the onslaught of real issues when they come up. The real issues of Uttar Pradesh must be heard, and that is unemployment, that is the agrarian distress, that is issues of relating to governance, which has a deep impact on everyday people's lives. So I think for me it's very important that we take these issues to the people, and I'm very, very hopeful. Past performance is not an indicator of this election.
But given the political history of Uttar Pradesh, now caste politics has always trumped these issues of unemployment or inflation, and now adding to that list is agrarian crisis. How do you think you can overcome this BJP's caste arithmetic?
See, on unemployment, I would agree with you that unemployment as a poll issue has not really been able to make mark, because the fact is that unemployed are not able to organize themselves. If you don't have a job, you don't go and knock on someone else's door and say, you don't have a job, I don't have a job, let's organize. But farmers do organize. And the way farmer unity has been a great positive for the nation, the way they have organized themselves, the way a national movement was sustained, and people from UP had a large role to play in that. Farmer identity has been very important in our polity, and it is a strong political identity. Now it is beginning to reassert itself. So unemployment is also an issue. Youth anger is definitely an issue. Economic distress is definitely an issue. But I feel at the crux of it, it will be the farmers and that identity that will help sustain and build a platform for all of these disparate elements to come together and ask some hard questions of BJP, of the incumbent government, and maybe pose some challenges for us as well.
Now, ever since the protest of against these farm laws began, it was always said that this is for a cause, this is apolitical. But then soon after the farm laws were repealed, few of the farmer union leaders, they floated their own political outfits in Punjab. Even in Uttar Pradesh, if we see, the Tikayat brothers have been involved in some sort of political, discussions with parties. How do you take this? I mean, is it going away from the real cause?
No, see, I don't know why we shun politics, and politics should not be a bad word. Politics is about guiding the nation. It's about deciding the issues, about how we as a society want to govern ourselves. Everyone must engage. Either you vote, you participate, you take part in a social movement, you track your issues, contemporary issues, or you have a sense of, you're a student of political history, whatever the case may be, or you fight elections. We are all engaged with each other politically. So there is really no such thing as a apolitical movement. I think that was a strategy, and it was a wise strategy, because right now we have a government that just does not want to listen, and it is very, very arrogant, and it cracks down, and it uses all of this parallel sort of institutionalized setup that they have now created, an ecosystem where they can use very conveniently these institutions that are actually pillars of democracy for their own party interest. So they could easily have labeled this, no, this is the opposition parties, this is anti-Modi forces, but they were not able to do so because they were simple farmers sitting on the streets, and they said, listen, we may vote differently, but here we are together. So as a strategy, it was clever, but you cannot stop anyone from asserting their political choice. They may want to organize, they may want to fight elections, they may want to just vote. That's their choice. Yeah, it takes nothing away from the social movement.
Now, Rashtriya Lok Dal's alliance with Samajwadi Party was announced days ago. Now, it's been quite a long time since the seat sharing formula has been clearly disclosed. Now, is there any bone of contention between the two?
No. See, it was not a bone of contention. It was just that these things need to be assessed, reassessed, tinkered with till the last moment. And you know that a lot of times parties declare candidates and then change at the last minute. Our goal is to win. And we have a great understanding between ourselves. There are no ego issues. Yes, of course, he is representing his organization, and I am responsible to political workers affiliated to my organization. There may be areas where I want to grow. There may be people who are deserving who are not able to contest these elections. But we have to take everyone along. So I am trying my best to convince my cadre that, look at the larger goal, and they are very, very willing. They understand. So there is no pressure really on me, and I don't feel there is any pressure on Akhilesh ji to move away from this alliance. In fact, we want to work together. We've even discussed issues, threadbare. Many times we sat down, we've not even spoken about seats, we spoke about issues, and that is the most important thing. How are we going to change the face of Uttar Pradesh? How are we going to tackle the developmental deficits that our state is facing? We are still a Bimaru state. You look at poverty, you look at malnutrition, you look at governance, any metric you use. We are one of the worst performing states in the country. So whether it's our symbol, whether it's Sapa symbol, doesn't matter. 403 seats, we are working together and we want to win.
Now, Samajwadi Party has been inviting or welcoming rebels from other parties. Adding to the list was a long list of BJP leaders who joined recently. Suppose if your alliance is able to defeat the BJP in the coming elections, how do you think it will be possible to give a representation to all of them who have joined along with those who are already there in the party?
It's a challenge always. People who are in the system, they don't want outsiders to come in. But political organizations have to be open organizations. This is not a closed door, a secret society or a trust for any benefit that we have created. It's an open platform. People should be free to come and join and take responsibility and share responsibility and contribute. So you have to give respect. Therefore, there is no hard and fast rule that we will not take anyone from outside the party. I mean, we will not give them a chance, we will not give them a ticket, or we will not give them a share of government. You cannot do that. There are people with great grassroots presence. They may not be in our party. But looking at our issues, looking at our campaign, looking at the on-ground sentiment, they may want to join. I think we must take them.
Now, in your recent interviews, you have been vocal about Mandal politics. Do you think Ram Mandir was never an issue, never a political issue? Because, see, as far as the electoral history is concerned, Ram Mandir issue has been something which has politically driven the, driven the politics of Uttar Pradesh, as well as has been responsible for, bringing the regional parties to the brink.
See, I think that is post-analysis of an election, where we try and attribute one or two issues. In fact, a voting decision is a very complex decision. There are many things that lead to it. Why BJP won with such a landslide? There could have been the case that BJP has not won in UP for a long time. There was a newness to that party. Modi ji had just come in with a landslide in the central government. So there may have been a sense that let's align ourselves with the central government. We may get some benefits to accrue. So there was that sense might have been already present in the voters, and then you had the trauma of the riots, which disrupted a normal way of thinking. People got angry, aggressive, they voted in anger and spite. So I think the last election was because of that. Your question on whether Mandir is relevant, I would like to believe it's not politically relevant. I feel for a country that has so many issues, real issues, poverty, malnutrition, unemployment, state of the economy, social tensions, I feel we must have faith in our people, in our voters, that they will take the right decision. I don't think a voter sitting there saying, "Chalo, Mandir has been made, so I don't want electricity, I don't want water, I don't want health, I don't want education for my children or jobs. I'll vote for Mandir." I don't think that voter really exists. He may exist in, a narrative being created in some media studios or in, the BJP sort of toolkit. But I don't think that voter really exists. Therefore, I question whether Mandir is a political issue at all.
You have always accused the BJP of polarization, right? But on one hand, the BJP talks about this Krishna Janmabhoomi, other than Ayodhya and Kashi. Now they are talking about Mathura. On the other hand, Akhilesh Yadav's remarks on Jinnah, they have given enough fodder to the BJP to attack him on religious sentimental ground. Don't you think that this will, this might damage the prospects of your alliance?
It's a strange time we live in. Elections are won and lost on a single statement nowadays. So, I mean, leaders have to be very, very careful, and your public persona is more important than any sort of deep understanding or issue. That's unfortunate, but I believe in a politics of real world issues. So therefore these things are at the periphery. About polarization, definitely that is their only tack, that is their only strategy, that's the only thing they have to divert people from the fact that 5 years people of Uttar Pradesh have gained nothing. You've spoken about Aurangzeb. Their campaign starts at Kairana, where the Home Minister of the country is going and meeting these mythical people who had left and have come back because supposedly UP is safe again. So the entire pitch is like that. In Mirapur and Muzaffarnagar, for instance, BJP candidate is giving a speech in a village and saying, "We are a Hindu party and Samajwadi Muslim party. Therefore, I am a Hindu, you are a Hindu, you must vote for us." So this is rampant. Election Commission must step in. These institutions must, stick by their mandate, because we will come and go. But I think we will create a wrong tradition if we are going to continue down this path. It's very dangerous for democracy.
Yogi Adityanath government claims to have dealt with the COVID second wave in the best possible manner. Claiming with the highest number of vaccinations in the country. What is your take on this?
UP is the largest population, 5th largest country in the world if it was a country by itself. So we will have the largest everything. Largest vaccination doesn't mean anything. We have the highest, perhaps one of the highest rates of wastage of vaccination. And we also know there are cases where people are not vaccinated and they are getting a message that you've received your second dose. So there are problems with that system as well. A proper audit must be done. We also have a case where litigants had to fight in the courts because government was refusing to give any benefits to COVID affected families who had lost members of the family to the disease. We saw the images of Ganga being, the bodies. People were so afraid, they were not able to take care of their own relatives and loved ones. They were just leaving dead bodies. They were not able to cremate them, not able to conduct last rites. Hospitals were flooded. I ran a campaign on my Twitter on Team RLD. We created this team of our party volunteers and workers who were on ground, who were assisting people. I would get a tweet saying, we need oxygen in Ghaziabad. Their oximeter reading is so and so. By the time I would convey that, several cases that, I saw that tweet, sorry, I just lost my loved one. So many cases like that happened, and government was not prepared. Government is not prepared. I would feel even now government is not prepared. If this third wave, Omicron, really creates a stress on the hospital system, on the health system in Uttar Pradesh, we may again see those images. So we need to be very, very careful. And you see, we have a special responsibility in our position. I wear my mask at all times. We just taken it out because we're maintaining social distance. We're sitting outdoors. But you see the way they are campaigning. Amit Shah ji was not wearing a mask. And in his cavalcade, I could barely spot any masks. So we must create the right example as well. Yogi ji is just sort of, it's his habit. He said that there are no potholes in UP roads, but 1,000 people died in 2019 according to central government data because of road accidents, because of potholes, which is the highest number of deaths. So we can't take whatever Yogi ji says as gospel truth.
Yogi ji is contesting the elections. He'll be fighting from Gorakhpur. Akhilesh ji has also announced that he'll be contesting the elections. Being a party chief, don't you think that you not contesting the elections might create a negative perception in your support base?
No, I have a different vision to that. I want to grow the base of our party. I feel that farmers need to organize themselves politically, and that is not just an issue restricted to Uttar Pradesh. Therefore, I feel that there is a vacuum at the national level as well. And it is with that roadmap in my mind that I am staying away from the assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. It may also be that after Chaudhary Saab's passing, there is a lot of responsibility that I need to share. I need to create an effective second rung of leadership. I need to delegate, create a proper team and structures of organization within our party. So I'm focused on that. My goal is to increase our winnability in this election, to make sure that we are able to campaign effectively on ground and to convert every seat, so that this is a new beginning for our party.
Now, Rashtriya Lok Dal has a strong support base in Western Uttar Pradesh. Now, do you think that after the farm laws being repealed, will it actually, lessen the chances of your alliance winning more seats there?
Not the case at all. I believe people have made up their minds. Right now we're not able to campaign. You are having massive meetings, massive turnouts. We were not prepared for the number of people who were turning up. For 10 kilometers, people are just walking. They're not able to get to the rally venue. Rally venue is completely filled to capacity. So that was the level of excitement. I think people have already made up their minds. As far as the farm law withdrawal, people know that this was not a case where government were out of its, sense of sort of commitment to farmers has taken this decision. It is only because of a year, 13-month long sustained agitation and pressurization, the way we were able to pressurize government and the fact that elections were coming. I think that is what created this atmosphere that finally Modi ji had to step back. No one is giving him credit. In fact, there is accountability. We must ask questions on why Teni is still a minister. And those questions must be asked. Why did 700 people have to die? We actually lost a year. All those families who were camping on the borders, the fact that they had left their villages, the economic activity in their hometowns must have gone down. There was a loss to the economy. And who's answerable for that? We basically rolled back, we've lost a year and we've gained nothing. That is the sense that farmers have. So therefore, they will definitely punish BJP in these elections.
Your party had famously brought back the Jat Muslim unity. But in 2017 polls, BJP won 51 out of 73 seats in that particular region. How do you think you're going to get back that unity of voter base?
In 2017 polls, again, there's a reason for why we're not able to perform. Because we were to be part of an alliance which didn't work out at the last minute. Therefore, our entire pitch had to change. That's why I think voters who wanted to vote for RLD then may have ended up voting for BJP. Or some of them may have gone for Samajwadi Congress alliance. Because we were not there in the fray. So it was a polarized election last time also. We saw Congress and Sapa aligning together and then BJP which came into power. Therefore, I think last election is not, like I said, an indicator of what's going to happen this time. This time we are part of a credible alliance which is the only strong alternative to BJP.
Jayant, one last question. How many seats are you hopeful for in these elections?
To win?
Yes.
Enough to make a government.
Still some figure?
You can't have figures. You can't have those sort of goals. It's up to the people. We will do our best. Finally, it is the voters that will decide.
Thank you for joining us, Jayant ji, and wish you all the very luck for the upcoming elections. Thank you.